Hey everybody, Brian Von VA here. Before we begin the pat down, I just have to say, if you have a story that you want to share with us, you can put it in the comments to this video. We are actively reading the stories in the comments, so if you got one to tell us, put it down below and we will get to it. That being said, what's the weirdest thing in your character's inventory? Starting off, we have a statue of ivory goats, flavored as sheep, a spider egg, fuzzy handcuffs that prevent the wearer from doing magic, among other things, and they were found in a wizard's tower. I don't believe that. In one campaign, I had a tabaxi bard whose xylophone was made from the ribs of some skeletons that attacked us. My character uses a dead man's finger as his magical conduit. He also wears a necklace of ears, which the deity he worships likes. Is he possibly a Vietnam War vet? The head of a cloud giant which is slightly scorched, rib bones that have been turned into gold. Silius's wake-up sauce. The DM said it was like coffee, but it was pretty much wasabi. A salt rock. A thong, which had the holy symbol of my character's deity. Don't ask. Oh, I want to ask. A loincloth, oh, it's not getting any better, which has the map of a dungeon written on it. Gotta say, the incendiary beast we stole from a god stash of unreleased creatures. One of my kobolds currently has a skull of some random goblin. A random horn I picked up. It's just supernaturally loud when you blow it. A halfling drug cartel? You can't do this to me this early. You read that right. Okay, so it was technically in the ship's inventory, but it was my character's ship. We were playing in a pirate-themed campaign, yarr, and we found what we initially thought were children being forced to manufacture drugs. Well, we killed the people who we thought were enslaving the children, only to find out that the children were actually halflings working under contract. When we killed their boss, they had no one to work for, so my character had them move their drug lab onto her ship and let them continue selling drugs off the ship. Although we never actually did sell any, we just wanted to make sure that the drug ring was defunct. My character had a random assortment of body parts she had collected. The hand of a warforged, the heart from a tabaxi, the soul of an ASMR, somehow, the left pinky toe from a turtle, and the right lung from a halfling. Needless to say, she was a barbarian. I was thinking a warlock myself. Not me, but a friend I DM'd for. He was using D&D Beyond for his character sheet, and wanted to collect exactly 3 skeletons worth of bones. He was a necromancer. Now, D&D Beyond doesn't have a skeleton's worth of bones as an item, so he made it as a homebrew item of the type of ammunition. So on his character sheet, he has 3 skeletons worth of bones as ammunition. Golden armbands for nothing. It is on the person of my warlock in a WoW-inspired campaign. One of his minions died, and his name was Nothing. Clever. A purple mastiff egg. Not one of those words made any sense together in any context, and I am very confused as to what biology your DM's world follows. I once played a character who wanted to make an axe from demon bones, logically, so for the longest time my character carried around assorted demon bones in his inventory. By the time I had enough to make the axe, it was 4 Babao ribs, 2 Balor thigh bones, and 2 Maw demon fangs. Had a Kenku artificer who owned a glider, powered by decanters of endless water with dual light crossbows to serve as machine guns. Not sure if that counts as weird though. Oh, that definitely counts as weird. Never ask a woman her age, a man his salary, or my character Mikhail, what's in his pockets. A goblin ear? An orc tusk. A crystallized beholder eye. We were fighting a group of 3 beholders, and one got close to me. I rolled a nat 20 to grapple it, then a second nat 20 to gouge its eye out. 2 nat 20s in a row. A handful of letters and bills I was supposed to deliver to a goblin horde in an alternate reality. A spider egg sac that my champion of Caden was entrusted to keep safe due to it being the Duchess's, kids, and, well, he is both her royal protector and her husband, so they are also, his kids. Honey, pocket spiders. Not currently, but in a past campaign, my character lost an axe to a mimic. So my character killed it and took one of the mimic's eyes and made a sword with the eye as the center stone. I would say give me sight beyond sight, but I'm afraid that thing might bite me. I have the Omnibunk Hammer, a +1 magical thrown hammer which can change its damage type between slashing, piercing, and bludgeoning if I know the target's name. I also have the key to a prison plane, which potentially holds a being capable of destroying entire cities in a matter of minutes. We don't really want to check, solely because we don't want to accidentally set them free. Great common sense right there, love it. I also, at one point, had a chunk of bugbear, because the magical summoning staff my character had didn't know what a burger was. I gave one of my players a rock of detect gravity. If gravity was the same as the material plane, the rock would just fall in the appropriate direction. They later found out it was also enchanted to detect if gravity was being altered magically due to a secondary function of hovering 1 foot above the ground and spinning violently while emitting a lavender-tinted glow. That is actually quite brilliant. My storm sorcerer, Zoran Tavar, found an item called a traveling hole punch. Once per long rest, it lets him punch a hole, 5 feet wide, in any surface or structure. It also has a 10% chance to open a portal to another plane of existence. The DM has discretion on where the portal goes when it happens. Haven't used it yet, but boy, does it sound interesting. I have 5 pounds of ramen coupons. I take one from a small shop my character enjoys whenever we return from a mission. We have a running bit where the other members keep dragging my character away from the ramen stand, so the coupons keep expiring. But he never disposes of them for sentimental reasons. Elias Hawthorne had, dun 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 dun, 1 beholder skull, 15 beholder teeth, 1 giant beholder eye, 6 smaller beholder eyes, and PTSD from 300 goblins versus 300 undead arson meteor shower fight club incident. Yeah, that's terrifying. Some backstory to explain why this is weird. In my campaign, I made a wild magic barbarian with the backstory of a military soldier. And with that backstory, I get a deck of cards. Although it doesn't specify what type of cards, so now my barbarian is holding a random Yu-Gi-Oh deck, which I bring to every session. I haven't gotten to use it yet, but my barbarian is able to summon pixies when he rages, and when he does, I'm just going to flip up one of my fairy monsters from my deck and say, "I summon the Weather Painter Snow!" And I get to do that every turn. Side note, the fairies explode. A severed arm and 3 eyes. A severed sorcerer's arm tied to a stick that functions as a great club. But you roll on the wild magic table every time you swing it. Had a second severed arm that casts fireball when you hit something with it. I love the first idea. A glass ball, when broken, has the same effect as putting a bag of holding in another bag of holding. A decanter of endless vodka. Ooh, that one sounds spicy. A Fallout 4 Fat Man, which requires the target and anything within 120 feet of it to make a DC 20 dex save. Or they can take 2d20 fire plus 9d6 necrotic damage. It has a max range of 60 feet. This was a cyberpunk campaign. A sling of healing that dealt 1d4 damage, but healed 2d4 health. A tie rod. The story goes that my character in the Horde of the Dragon Queen group that I've mentioned before, was actually just on his way into Greennest to pick up a pre-bought tie rod. Kessel is a cart mechanic by trade, and he apparently snapped the tie rod on the front of his carriage by going downhill. He hit a large rock, and now one steering wheel is facing left, while the other faces right. He was trying to determine how viable it was to roll a horse-drawn cart without a guiding horse. Turns out, not very. More innovation is needed. As for the item itself, it can count as an improvised weapon. It's just an actual wrought iron tie rod. Nothing really unique about it in the grand scheme of the setting, since carriages are pretty common. It's just bizarre that Kessel managed to actually get his hands on it in the flaming ruins of Greennest, with a bit of help from our DM being really chill about it. The weight is also negligible, apparently, since tie rods in the real world are incredibly lightweight. The reason he even had it manufactured in the first place was so his cart could be steered independently from the horses. But of course it broke going downhill. He's still searching for the best method to self-propel a carriage, and can't actually figure out how steam power works in spite of the fact that his name literally means boiler in German. An amulet of transmutation. It switches your current gender to the opposite. Currently, it is turning my character into male because he was changed into a female by a random potion he drank. I am the DM. And for plot, the roughest stole a bronze key with a large amethyst. He could not remember how to spell amethyst, and wrote down, purple rock. Fast forward. Later, he forgot what it was and decided to throw this uber-important key at an enemy because he thought it was a rock. I have the severed head of an ally who is still living in my bag. The party was fighting a high-ranking general of a demon army that had turned to fight with the big bad evil guy of the campaign. I know, odd that it's not the demon army, right? And the demon ended up having one heck of a time in the fight, knocking a few of us low, but always missing the role he wanted, I'm assuming death. As the demon was on death's door, he managed to roll what the DM had been hoping he would all fight against our wizard, a nat 20. Turns out the demon didn't just have random blades or claws on his hands. No, they were the shattered and still enchanted remains of a Vorpal longsword. Needless to say, the head of our wizard was cleanly removed from his shoulders. After the fight, my character, a rogue as if it was a surprise, picked up the head and started to call out to all the entities that he made deals with and that owed him favors to bring the wizard back to life. One of them answered the call and brought him back and even managed to grow him a new head. So, as he was coming to and the party was surrounding him, making sure he was okay and still had all his memories, I pocketed the head and have been keeping it as pristine as possible in case we ever need to grow a new wizard in the future. That, ladies and gentlemen, is how you future-proof. This one's just sweet and innocent. My kobold artificer is a practical little sociopath. He currently has 3 orc corpses stuffed in his bag of holding. I recently learned that raw, they can't fit past the mouth of the bag. So I'll keep that in mind going forward. Sorry, DM. Which he did to hide evidence of the party's shenanigans. This isn't the first time he stuffed a corpse inside either. The last one he threw out onto a pile of fresh bodies to create an obstacle to block his pursuers down a narrow hallway. On a less traumatizing note, he also looted several scales and teeth from a bullet the party killed, or you could call it bullet. Later that same day, they got in a fight with some gray oozes, which corroded his dagger. So, at the next long rest, I asked the DM if he could use his tinker's tools to convert a tooth into a bone dagger to replace the damaged one, which he allowed. That trusty tooth has taken many more lives since. How heartwarming. Hey everybody, Brian Von VA here checking in after the vid. Make sure to leave a like, to subscribe, and to ring that bell if you liked the video. Also, you can thumbs down if you didn't like it either. And of course, if you got a story to tell us that you'd like us to read out in one of these videos or possibly live one day, you can do so either on the subreddit r/MrRipper or do it in the comments. We do look at the comments, and believe me, we take a lot of stories from you guys down there. It's just a lot of comments to sort through, so sorry if we don't get to your comment or reply quickly. That said, if you'd like to come say hi to me as well, Brian Von VA, you can do so over on Twitch or YouTube. I'm basically a little bit everywhere, so you can come say hi to me anytime. I love meeting new people. And, as always, positivity time at the end of the video. Hi, everybody. Hope everybody's doing okay. Are you guys staying hydrated, healthy? I know things are getting kind of crazy in the world as of this recording, and by the time it goes up, I don't know what's going to be happening, but I will say this. I'm proud of all of you for staying alive as long as you have. Proud of all of you for waking up in the morning. I'm proud of all of you for having breakfast when you have the energy to have it. I'm proud of you for going to bed on time when you can, and for just going to bed at all and taking care of yourselves. That is, a reward in and of itself. And I am happy that all of you, no matter how hard it is some days or how easy it is, that you're taking care of yourselves. Continue to do it. And if you haven't done it, do it. This is Daddy Vaughn literally saying, go out and eat food. Go sleep. Hydrate. Hydrate. Because your life matters. Believe it or not, it really does. And I just want everyone to know that. I know it's kind of a cheesy thing to say to people, but I do love everybody out there in the world. I love life. And I want you guys and gals to love life too. So be safe, please be happy, best of your ability, and we will be here. See you next time.